In the late 70s and early 80s, Mary Ann Unger began to think about site-specific commissions. She also begins to turn her attention to the material of plywood. Known for its durability, particularly in shipping maquettes for CFPs, plywood allowed Mary Ann to think about something beyond the grid, but deeply modular. It allowed her to think about wood as a medium deeply invested in interior and anterior space. And wood, of course, being a material that is deeply invested in time. Mary Ann also, like many of us in the 80s, started reading science fiction, particularly by Ursula Le Guin and the wonderful Octavia Butler, and began to think about feminine world building, both in multi and alternative universes and in prehistoric history, particularly understandings of migration. And that was one of the foundations for her deep interest in making Across the Bering Strait. I'm still teasing it. It's so good. Just wait till you see it. Here, behind me, is a wonderful loan from the Whitney Museum of American Art, Mary Ann's red vertebrae of 1980. In this moment, she's thinking about a number of things, but thinking along that vertebrae arc and the ways in which a pregnant body arches, bends, expands to support oncoming life. She's also thinking about seriality, which is something that modernists and postmodernists, and particularly post-minimalists, were deeply invested in. How can we emerge from the two-dimensionality and the picture plane of the grid into a serial or sequential arc of time? And I believe Mary Ann accomplishes her goal, because here we also see in the emergent anterior and interiorities of these arced half-moon forms, we also now have color. Beautiful acrylic radiant color, starting somber and deep umber, moving to bronze and copper, red clay, bringing us almost to what I like to call electric acrylic yo-yo gold. And it is stunning. One of the great and exciting challenges of an exhibition that is monographic and is not a retrospective but is a survey is to think both across an artist's practice and the deep dimensionalities of an artist's life. Starting in the early 80s, Mary Ann has a child, Eve Biddle, and that changes the way that she works. It changes also her attentions, but it does not change her rigor. We have installed red vertebrae adjacent to some of Eve's works in ceramic glaze. And I will very quickly move out of the picture plane to give you a sense of the convergence, this beautiful conversation across time.